I used to believe my life was something out of a quiet, beautiful novel. I had a husband who made me coffee every morning and kissed my forehead before he left for work. We talked about everything, our dreams, little daily moments, even the mundane things that made up our world. There was laughter in our home, stability in our routines, and a kind of peace I never questioned. And then there was her, my best friend. She'd been in my life since college, the kind of friend you grow into adulthood with, one who knows your secrets and saw you through heartbreaks and birthdays. We shared everything, late-night calls, inside jokes, family dinners. When I married, she cried at the wedding. She called him her brother-in-law by heart. He liked her too, maybe a little too much in hindsight, but at the time, it felt warm, safe. She had a spare key to our home, something I gave her without hesitation. If I was away, she'd check in, water the plants, feed the cat. She knew our routines. She knew everything about us. And why wouldn't she? She was family. The three of us spent time together often, movie nights, barbecues, weekend brunches. She was always around, always welcome. I never noticed how his eyes lingered too long when she spoke, or how quickly her mood lifted when he entered the room. I was too wrapped up in my perfect picture to see the frame starting to crack. My husband, calm and affectionate, rarely gave me a reason to doubt. If he was late from work, he texted. If he missed a call, he'd return it. And when my friend canceled plans or grew quiet during our chats, I chalked it up to life stress. Everyone has their off days, right? But there were things I ignored, small things. A second coffee mug in the sink when I knew he was alone. A lipstick stain on the rim of a wine glass he said he used. A scent I didn't wear lingering on his shirt. Still, I didn't question him. Or her. I couldn't imagine betrayal coming from either of them. We even joked about trust once. I told them, laughing, if either of you ever lied to me, I'd probably know instantly. She smiled and said, you'd feel it in your bones. I believed her. Looking back, there were moments that should have made me pause, but trust is a powerful thing. It wraps around you like a blanket and blinds you gently. I had no reason to suspect anything was wrong. Not until the silence started growing louder. Not until the peace began to feel forced. I loved my husband. I trusted my best friend. And in the quiet rhythm of everyday life, I never saw the storm building just behind the door I left wide open. It started with the smallest shift, my husband becoming quieter, less present. He used to look me in the eye when he spoke. Lately, his gaze seemed to drift. He'd get home later than usual, brushing off the time with excuses I didn't question at first. Work had been busy. Meetings ran long. He was tired. I told myself not to overthink. Then my best friend began to change too. She became harder to reach. Our daily chats dwindled into short, dry messages. She canceled our plans with vague excuses, headaches, last-minute errands, needing rest. When we did meet, she was distracted, barely listening, always checking the time. Her phone lit up with messages. She'd quickly turn face down. They both looked at me differently. Not with malice, not with guilt, just a strange detachment, like they were in on a conversation I wasn't part of. I'd catch them exchanging glances that ended too fast, smiles that didn't include me. It could have been nothing, but I felt something I couldn't name, a shift in the atmosphere that unsettled me. One evening, he came home wearing a cologne he hadn't worn in years. I asked about it. He shrugged, said it was just something he found in the back of the drawer. I didn't believe him, but I let it go. I wasn't ready to hear the truth I hadn't confirmed. I began to notice inconsistencies. He'd say he had dinner at work, but the stove would still be warm when I got home. She said she'd been home all night, but the location tag in her message said otherwise. I didn't confront them. I told myself I was overthinking, that I was becoming paranoid. But I knew. Deep down, I knew something had cracked between us. I stopped sleeping well. I kept dreaming of doors I couldn't open, of whispers I couldn't understand. My stomach would twist when he kissed me goodnight. I'd flinch when she touched my arm. I started watching more closely. Her perfume stayed longer on our couch. His shirt had hair strands that weren't mine. I started taking pictures of the room before leaving and comparing them when I got back. A glass moved. A book shifted. A pillow indented on the wrong side of the bed. It felt insane. I felt insane. I kept hoping for something, anything that would prove I was wrong. That this was all a misunderstanding. That the two people I trusted most weren't capable of this. But the more I looked, the more silence answered back. They weren't slipping up. They were confident. The final push came the day I told my boss I was sick. I went home earlier than planned. I didn't call. I didn't text. Something in me wanted to catch them, not just suspect it. I needed truth, not questions. I needed to see it with my own eyes, to finally break the illusion I had been trying so hard to keep alive. The door creaked open, and everything felt too still. No voices at first, just a faint hum, like the air itself was holding a secret. I walked slowly, deliberately, my heartbeat so loud it muffled everything else. I wasn't even sure what I expected. Maybe I thought I'd find nothing. Maybe I hoped I was still wrong. But then I heard it, soft laughter, hers, unmistakable. And then his voice, low, comfortable, too familiar. It came from the bedroom. My bedroom. I froze. My hand tightened around my keys, and for a second, I couldn't move. I just listened. Her laugh had always been part of my life. Hearing it now felt like a knife twisting. I pushed the door open further, just enough. I didn't need to see much. Clothes lay tossed on the floor. A shirt I bought him. A pair of heels she once joked were too tall to walk in. Their voices stopped. Silence again. Thick and unnatural. I didn't wait for explanations. I didn't make a sound. I didn't scream. I turned around and walked away. My mind raced, but my body moved like it wasn't mine. Down the stairs, out the door, keys still in my hand, breath stuck in my throat. I didn't cry.
Not yet.
I didn't even feel. I was numb, like everything inside me shut down to protect whatever was left. I sat in the car for a long time. I stared at nothing. My chest felt hollow. Every moment I had ever trusted them replayed in flashes. Him holding my hand at the altar, her fixing my veil, the three of us laughing on the porch. Now it all felt like fiction. A well-acted play, where I was the only one who didn't know the ending. I didn't call anyone. Who would I even tell? What would I say? That my husband and my best friend had turned my home into a joke. That while I was busy believing in love, they were building lies right under my roof. I didn't go back inside. I couldn't. The idea of facing them, hearing their excuses, seeing their faces, I wasn't ready. I drove aimlessly for hours, no destination, no plan. I just needed to be anywhere else. Anywhere but there. Eventually, I pulled over and let the tears fall. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet, steady, and endless. It wasn't just betrayal. It was grief. Grieving the life I thought I had. Grieving two people who were still alive, but who no longer existed the way I knew them. I realized I wasn't mourning a failed marriage or a lost friendship. I was mourning the woman I had been before I opened that door. The one who trusted too easily. The one who believed love was enough. That woman died the moment I saw the truth. And the one left behind? She had no idea what came next. I didn't speak to either of them for 3 days. I needed silence more than closure. The weight of what I'd seen sat on my chest like stone, but strangely, it didn't break me. It clarified things. I didn't need to ask why. I didn't need apologies. The truth was already sharp enough. On the 4th day, I called her. She answered like nothing had happened. Her voice was light, pretending normal. I didn't give her space for lies. I told her I knew, that I saw them. There was a pause, short, cold, empty. Then a weak attempt to explain. She said it wasn't serious. That it was a mistake. That they didn't mean to hurt me. I hung up before she could finish. Later that evening, I told him I wanted to meet. Not at home. Somewhere neutral. He came, silent, guilty, eyes down. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just asked one question: how long?
He said 6 months.
6 months of lies. Of shared beds and shared secrets. 6 months of me loving both of them while they rewrote my life behind my back. He said he didn't plan to fall for her, that it started as a mistake and kept going because it was easier than stopping. I listened, but it didn't matter. Whatever reason he gave, it couldn't undo what he took from me. My peace, my trust, my sense of home. I told him it was over. No begging. No dramatics. Just a decision. I packed quietly. I left most things behind. The house didn't feel like mine anymore. Every room had ghosts now. I moved into a small apartment on the other side of town. Nothing special. Just clean and empty. I needed empty. The first few weeks were hard. Everything felt unfamiliar, sleeping alone, cooking for one, waking up in silence. But there was freedom in that emptiness. No lies. No pretending. Just truth. And healing. I started running in the mornings. It helped. I wrote in a journal, filling page after page with thoughts I couldn't say out loud. I blocked both of them, on everything. I didn't need updates on their lives. Whatever they had, they could keep it. I was done. Eventually, the pain dulled. It didn't disappear, but it stopped defining me. I learned how to breathe again, how to smile without faking it. I learned that healing doesn't come in big moments. It comes in the quiet choices. Waking up. Moving forward. Not looking back. Now, when people ask me about my past, I don't flinch. I don't hide it. I tell the truth. I was betrayed by the two people I trusted most. But I walked away. I rebuilt. I found strength in places I didn't know I had. They broke something in me, yes. But they didn't destroy me. I chose myself. And every day since then, I've kept choosing me. That's the only story I care to keep.